We are live. Welcome to another episode of Two Aussie Thrifters.
Good evening.
We have some awesome guests with us tonight, joining us to talk about transitioning sort of from part-time eBay, bit of side hustle, to more of a full-time eBay income. So we've got a little bit of a range of how long people have been full-time. Judda's on the edge of going full-time. So we're sort of keen to get sort of their opinion on how things have been going and what they've had to change to go full-time. Obviously, Jazz has had a few months now in full-time.
Snuck up on us. I think it's been like 6 months.
Yeah, crazy. So she'll be able to add some clout to the situation.
Drop my 2 cents.
Well. So we have with us tonight, we have Cara, Thrifty Pixie. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Mm-hmm. We have Judda. Good to see you, Judda. We've got his VPN ready to go.
No.
And we have Sam as well. So thank you for all being here. Sam is on call, so she may have to duck out halfway through, or we'll just see how we go. Fingers crossed, no interruptions.
We're lucky to have her.
But thanks for being here, everyone. Quickly, you guys want to do a quick introduction?
Do an introduction.
Wow. I'm sure everyone knows who you are, and I have put all your links in the description. So Cara and Brad have YouTube channels, and Sam has an awesome Instagram account. So that's all in the description for you guys to check out. We'll start with Cara and go sort of clockwise. Yeah.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. My name is Cara, aka Thrifty Pixie on Instagram and also YouTube when I do YouTube. And I am now a full-time reseller, kind of, because I have a casual job as well. But
we can sort of touch on that a little bit as well. We do want to be a bit careful with Cara tonight because she is going on Frank's channel on Thursday as well. So me and Frank have kind of organised with each other what we're going to talk about and what we're not, so that Frank's channel will get a lot of people over on there on Thursday as well. So we'll have to tread lightly with Cara. But we've got Judda in tonight as well. Thanks for being here, Brad. You're almost there. So give us a bit of an intro and what's upcoming for you.
Yeah, I'm Judda. I'm about 4 shifts away from being full-time. Very excited, very nervous. That's based on, for those that don't know me, a sudden redundancy that came up. They're claiming COVID claimed us, but I work in the print industry, which everything's going digital and that's dying. So that's forced me to go full-time. So I'm kind of fortunate because I have a bit of a package behind me, and if I'm ever going to do it, the best time is now. So we're going to hit it hard and see how good we can do it.
Get it.
And we talk quite a lot, so we've seen a lot of the behind the scenes setting up and stuff like that. So we have no doubt that Judda's going to kill it, and he's a very wise man in the fields that he knows. So thanks for being here, Brad. We'll get many questions in tonight, hopefully. And Sam is joining us as well. So thanks for coming along, Sam. Obviously, you're sort of reasonably new to full-time, but you're sort of doing a little bit of a side hustle as well at the moment on top of that. So a bit of an introduction and what you're up to.
Yeah, so I went full-time about 3.5 months ago, but I've just this week started doing a casual contract back with my old employer. Yeah. So I've sort of swapped my main hustle for my side hustle, and but the benefit is what I'm doing now is I'm doing it from home at night, and it's not interfering with family life, it's good money while I am still getting the business going. So it was a bit, I wasn't going to knock it back for now. It's good.
We're good so similar. Sam and I are pretty similar like that. Yeah. We've done exactly the same thing.
And I think there's always a bit of when you go full time, you don't want to do a part-time hustle as well. But I think that a lot of people, we've never ruled that out for ourselves. So if we ever go full-time, we're happy that we might have a part-time job on the side. We don't want to be locked into being full-time resellers and nothing else, because obviously full-time reselling, there's ups and downs, there's change in patterns, eBay changes.
It's not for everyone.
I think if you're able to change your full-time job and make it your side hustle and make them almost work for you by setting your own hours and working from home, then you're kind of winning on both bases, aren't you? You're getting the best of both. So.
And I've got this funny rule because it's a contract, so I don't feel like an employee. So I still feel that my main thing is I'm self-employed, and I'm happy to just do a contract and not feel that connected,
Yeah,
that's a beautiful thing.
I love it. I think that's perfect balance. Is you know, you're still able to have a bit of an income coming through while you establish a business, and then, you know, what happens in 6 to 12 months time, who knows? But you've got that money coming in to support the family. So yeah, I think it's a great little situation you've got set up there. I do want to say g'day to a few people in chat before we get cranking too far. We do have 69 people in already, so I probably will miss a bunch of people. But thanks for being here, Tracy. Probably dropping off before she goes to sleep. Denica says she's usually late, but she was in 15 minutes early tomorrow. So thank you for being here. Samantha's in, Raucous Reg, Raw Gill, good to see you. Scott's in. Mum and Dad are actually watching from the other room.
We locked him in a cupboard.
Locked him in there. We said, look, you can't come out tonight. You're in the naughty corner. So
don't make any noise.
We've got Sarah here. Thanks for being captain. Thanks for the raffle the other night, which we snagged, which was awesome.
Craziness.
Look, Mom, I'm hustling. Smash it at the bins today. That was crazy seeing what those guys got.
Thanks, Stu and Sarah.
Here is our man Frankie, who'll be talking to Cara on Thursday. So thank you very much. Bob's in. Thanks
Is
for
it
being
on
here.
yet? It's on.
It's on now.
It's on. It's happening.
Kirsty's here. Caroline's here. Mum number 2.
Miss you,
Tamara
Mum.
Mills. Grant and Lee dropping in to show Sam some love as well. So thank you for being here. Rack Raiders, Shazad. Probably just going to scroll to the bottom now because we're getting crazy. William, just me, Recommerce Dave, Donna, a bunch of people. Thank you for being here, Gibbsy.
Thanks, Gibbsy. Thanks,
Danny.
Australia. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just going to scroll to the bottom. Sorry if we miss anybody. I know there's a bunch of people. Megan's here as well. Megan Tate, thanks for being here. Mossy, we appreciate everyone being here, but we want to give the floor to these guys tonight. So if you have any questions for anyone along the way, Leanne's dropped in. Thanks for being here.
Already putting questions in.
Yeah, so we want to talk a little bit about transitioning to full-time. So obviously, for a lot of us, it's sort of like a bit of a goal of ours long-term to get to a point where we don't have to rely on a full-time income.
Not everyone.
Or it's, you know, you can use it as a bit of a side hustle depending what you want. But you guys, well, Judd is so close, and you guys have been doing it a while. Jazz has been doing it a while. So we wanted to talk about, you know, the sort of different stages of going full-time. So firstly, Cara, you've sort of moved away from your full-time job as a choice, which is awesome. But you've also sort of kept it as a little bit of a side hustle to keep that money flowing in, which is awesome. So I wanted to sort of talk about not so much any of your planning or infrastructure, because you're going to be talking about that with Frank, but a little bit about like the mentality of going into full-time. So when you sort of decided that it was time to go, what were the things that you were thinking? Like, what was going through your head? Like, what were the things that you're like, man, I need to get this right before I go full-time?
Man, I've thought about it for so long as well. And you guys probably remember me talking about it all the time. Like, should I do this? Should I do this? It's super scary because I had a full-time job and I actually had it pretty good. Like, I was working from home and things like that. But, you know, I really loved reselling, and I just wanted it to be something that I could do full-time. And I thought that I could do it, but I still had like reservations. And then one day I just said, I'm going to do it. I didn't have like, I just decided I was going to chuck in my 2 weeks notice. I think because I was sick of hearing myself talk about it. I don't know. I had the mindset of that I needed to have as much capital as I could behind me and enough savings and things like that, and made sure that my husband, Mikhail, was happy with me going full-time. Here he is. Because I'm lucky enough to have a partner who does have a full-time job, and I think that is an amazing thing if you can do that as well and have your partner have a full-time job and support you as well. I think as well, I knew that I probably could do some casual work for the company that I used to work full-time for, and that sort of put me in a little bit of a better place, because I think that some people who are really wanting to go full-time, they have this like, they don't want to be doing a sort of casual or part-time job. They just want to be doing reselling, which I understand. But I think this week has like not been fabulous on eBay, and luckily I've been able to back that up with some casual work. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been good this week to have that. But I don't know, my mindset hasn't really changed too much. I've just been doing the same thing, but before I went full time, just making sure that I had everything in place to make me feel comfortable to actually go full time.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you sort of touched on a little bit there as well, like having someone that can support that sort of transition or having some sort of money behind you makes that transition a lot easier. So it's sort of been cool to see your experience so close, because obviously we catch up quite regularly and go thrifting a lot. So even seeing Cara change from like thrifting what she was to like looking for all these different options to get stock and stuff, which we will talk about in a little bit, has been pretty cool to see firsthand, because it's sort of like a flick of a switch. And just sort of change a lot of the things that you're looking at. So, yeah, it's very, very cool to see, and definitely looking forward to hopefully doing it myself one day. But Brad's on the precipice. There you go.
I don't know.
One of those words.
It's on the edge, guys.
Of going full time, and I reckon by now I'd be getting pretty antsy. I reckon I'd be pacing up and down the workplace and chomping at the bit. So, how are you feeling, Brad?
There hasn't been much pacing up and down at the workplace. There's been a lot of sitting because we know we don't have a job in a few weeks, so no one's doing anything. So simple as that. But yes, it's kind of weird. It feels strange because like I've been employed by someone for 16 years now, so to just not have that when I have a family to support and a mortgage to pay, it's kind of scary. But at the same time, I am excited because I know what I'm capable of. Sort of with some of the knowledge that I have in certain areas, and I feel like I'm forever learning more areas. So I'm confident. I think that's good, but I'm still shitting myself. So yeah, best way to put it.
You made a really good point the other night that if you weren't scared, he'd probably think you were a bit silly, but because you're a little bit scared.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nerves are a good thing. People think that nerves are a bad thing, but I think if you're nervous, then you're not like a crazy sociopath. So
I've seen Shazad talk about sort of maintaining a part-time job while reselling full-time quite a lot, and like retaining a bit of that capital to build it. And that's sort of like, well, I'm still full-time, but you know, that's sort of the way we're looking at it, is trying to get to a point where we're not concerned at all. So I know that Brad's going to do really well, and I've seen a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and yeah, I'm really keen to see what he can do over the next 6 months. Well, hopefully a lot longer than that, but definitely next 6 months is going to be a real awesome time, I think. So congratulations, Brad. I'm really keen for those 4 shifts to get out of the way and hit the ground running, I think. So Sam, so you've been full-time, as you said, sort of 3.5 months now, with now taking on that little bit more of a part-time gig as well, contract, so you're still self-employed. I want to know from you, like I'm presuming yours was a choice as well. You wanted to spend more time with your family. You wanted to put yourself in a position where you could work from home in a lot of areas. So do you want to talk a little bit about your mindset of moving into full-time?
Yeah, so I mean, it's not something I thought I would ever do. I was a public servant for 22 years, and like nobody just ups and resigns. That's just not what you do. But I've mentioned before, I have a lot of kids, in particular a lot of teenage daughters, so it's all very intense on the home front. And when I made the decision, it's actually made quite quickly. And we just sort of got ourselves into a decent financial situation, and I worked out that I needed to basically make $500 a week clear. And I was basically already doing that and knew I would be able to do that. And then, so I just pulled the pin. And I don't have, we'll talk about finances, but I don't have enormous financial goals. But I just want to be able to, you know, my husband works and he has a good job. So, but I just want to make sure the kids are in private school and stuff like that, that we can maintain those sorts of, or a couple of them are, so those sorts of things. So yeah, I didn't really think about it. For the opposite of Cara, I didn't really think about or agonize over it. I did make sure my husband was across the line because, you know, we don't make massive life decisions on our own. But I just had enough. So I just did it.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a question for yourself and Cara at the same time. After sort of putting the resignation, was that a huge weight off your shoulders? Like, I know for myself that going into the work and doing the job for somebody else every day, I'm like, man, I could be working for myself and potentially making more money than I'm getting paid. However, it's that security that I sort of struggle with letting go of. So was that, once you cut that cord, was it a big weight off both your shoulders?
You go, Sam.
I wonder if it's a bit different. Cara, you're a lot younger than me. So, like, honestly, I'm 45. I'm 10 years off accessing my super. So I'm like, because I'm from public service, but I'm like, I've got 10 years to go and try things. What does it matter? Like, I've done my big career spurt, and it was a successful career, and I worked really hard and I did some good stuff. And yeah, I felt really good. And yesterday I had to go back in to pick up a laptop to work from home, and I felt quite separate. It was so nice to see everyone, but I feel quite separate, and this is of my own choosing, this contract work. And it's interesting. It's stuff that I'm interested in, but I don't feel, it's not where my passion is now. That's in my business. So, Cara?
Yeah, I was starting to feel like the work that I was doing was becoming really monotonous. I've been doing it for over 6 years, and I really did enjoy my job. It was a great job. I was working at home as like a recruitment administrator, project officer. My boss is amazing, and it sounds like a great job. It was a good job. But I don't know, I just love reselling, and I love the freedom that it provides me. And I was scared as hell to do it. And when I did do it, I did feel that huge weight off my shoulders, because I've been thinking about it for so long. And we get these things in our head, and we build them up and up and up, and it makes you probably even more nervous to do it. And I was just nervous about telling my boss, because I consider her a friend as well. And I guess I know, like, her assistant as well, and I felt really bad to be sort of just dumping that on her. And but when I did it, she's like, yeah, I totally get it. I was like, what? Okay. So
my
yeah,
boss was the same, Cara. My boss said to me, like, I told her, and I thought she'd be shocked, and she just went, yeah, I've got a 3-year exit plan. And I was like, oh, okay. She's just like, I was like, fine.
I think a lot more
I can't believe that you've done it for this long, because I am separate from, because my work was in Perth, the company, and I had no colleagues here. So it was very independent work, and it was kind of lonely. And that's where like Instagram came in, I guess, as well, was you guys are my colleagues as well.
Yeah.
Meeting at the water cooler on a Tuesday.
What about you, Jazz? Like, you've kind of gone from having a full-time job, and then it was closing down pre-COVID, and then it cut short because of COVID.
Yeah.
So how has your mindset changed in the last 6 months? Like, what are you thinking at this point in time?
I had to think about this quite a bit, because I started actually first by cutting down how much I was working. I was managing a retail store by myself, which was not ideal at all. And I called my boss, who was also in WA in Perth, and said, actually, my personal work has become too much, and I need to take Mondays off, and I need you to get someone in to run my store on Mondays. And she said, what personal workload? I had to explain to her that I even do this. She was like, what do you mean? But as soon as I cut those Mondays, I found that I was getting so much more done, and realized how much more I could be doing again. So we were already kind of on the way to that. And then, bam, the business closed, and bam, COVID. Yeah. I was full-time, just accidentally. So
I remember we just kept talking about it. I just kept saying to you, like, go full-time, just do it. And then I'm thinking in my head, I want to go full-time too, but Jazz, you go first.
Like, oh, I can't go full-time. I can't just, what if we don't make enough? Like, I need that security. But I really got forced into it, because there were no jobs to apply for. There were people getting laid off left, right, and centre as I was starting to look. So I just stopped looking, put all my energy into eBay, and I don't know where 6 months has gone.
Yeah, and so far it's worked well. Like, obviously we had a lot of stock to list, so that helped. But yeah, we haven't. The business hasn't suffered from it. If anything, it's been improved because we've been able to list more. So yeah, it's definitely cool to see that transition. It kind of gives me like a little bit of hope as well, because I'm like, if one of us can do it, we just have to get to that next step to make two of us be able to do it. So I will try and pick up some questions in the chat.
Sorry,
I did see
chat.
a bunch fly through. Anthony was saying he's been forced to go full-time since COVID, haven't worked for 6 months, and this is the only thing keeping our family afloat. And I think that's why it's so good to have such a side hustle, whether it's, at eBay or just selling stuff on Facebook or whatever you can do to make money. Times like this, those things will come to the forefront and make you survive, really. I mean,
Yeah.
It's such a good skill to have, reselling, because even if I got another job and then I was made redundant or something, I would know that I could do this again. And it's like Jada, he's like, yeah, I can do this. I can make money still.
Yeah. Yep. Here's actually a good question for Jada, and I think I know what the goal is. But are you going to go full-time resell, but only while you're looking for a job, or is this your future from now on?
At the moment, this is the future, but it won't be purely resell. And like was mentioned on other things, I do have other plans on other side hustles. So there's other things that I sort of dabble in, and I'm hoping to bring in several different incomes. I've probably got about 5 of them, to be honest. A couple of them, people that may have known me for a long time know I'm passionate about animals and I love animals and all that sort of stuff. I do breed a lot of animals, lots of birds. I have heaps of birds, and I'm looking to do reptiles and snakes as well. So going to ramp that up probably more so next year and get some kind of exotic parrots and all that sort of stuff, and just look to get a little bit of play money with that, because simply they do the work for you. I just got to do a bit of cleaning and feeding. So I'm planning to ramp that up a bit. And I also, as we were talking Sunday night with Mitch, and he mentioned about his website and stuff, I have a similar thing sort of in store for next year. I'm looking to open an online store of my own, but mine will be based around sports memorabilia. So for anyone that does know me, I have a strong passion in that. That's what got me into reselling initially. And that's what I sort of flipped 50% of my stuff. So I plan to go sort of balls to the wall with that next year. I'm still loading up on stock. I have heaps of it there. And I've also got some really good contacts in the States now. So I'm going to be importing a lot of really good stuff for next year. So, yeah, I've got a few little plans on the side. So stay tuned for that.
On YouTube, but very serious business man here.
Yeah,
Very
and that's
serious. Yes.
That's kind of like what you were saying on your your Instagram the other day. You were sort of saying like, I like to have a joke, but when it comes to business, like you're dead set, you know what you need to do and you know how to get there. So I think that's a good way to be, is like, not take yourself too seriously, but when it push comes to shove, you're going to do the right thing. So
yeah, that's right.
Megan's saying, when I cut back at work, literally everyone was supportive, but I felt guilty about doing it. Yeah, I think that is tough as well, especially if you're like in a good working environment. Like if you have people that you get along with quite well, cutting back might be difficult. Scott did 10 years ago in a job that was shit, just pay the bills and house and kids through. Now after 2 years, I'm taking the leap in eBay, and I should have done it a long time ago. There we go.
It's like there's never a perfect time, but make it work.
Yeah, definitely. It's turned out well for Jasmin. It has. Tori's dropped in, and Matthew over on Facebook. So thanks for being here,
guys.
I can't wait to go full time. I think that's a lot of us, is we're sort of, you either want to do it on a more consistent basis and cut down your normal job, or do what Sam and Cara have and work for them only on your terms. So I think that's a great way to be. Sam, are you thinking about doing a YouTube channel at all, or are you sort of happy with the Instagram?
You're welcome up here anytime.
Yeah, I like to have a chat sometimes, but no.
It's a different world.
And it's a time suck. It's really cool that doing this, that we get to explore our passions and be creative and be on YouTube, but you've got to be careful as well.
Yeah, same story. Forced redundancy made the decision for me.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Inside Outlet, I plan on going back to work part-time to smash the home loan.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. But thoroughly enjoy and will never give up my business. Absolutely.
There can be a culture of kind of saying that, full-time is the be-all and end-all, but I think that really you just have to know what's best for you.
And I think you have to go with the flow. Like if you're so set that you can only do full-time, then like you're putting yourself in a bad position, right? Like you need to be flexible.
Yeah.
If it doesn't
There's also
work,
different types of full time. Like we use this full time and for some of us, it just like I talk to a lot of reselling mums, you know, because that's sort of my cohort, and a lot of them don't have jobs outside of reselling, but they're certainly not working full time in a reselling business because they've got little kids at home, or if they've got older kids, they're sort of, but that's the only thing they do. So therefore they're sort of called full time. Or others who say, if you've got a partner who works and earns an income, you know, are you full time? And I think, I don't know why we sort of put these lines in place around what it is. And I think, it can be whatever you want it to be. And isn't that part of the beauty of it?
Yeah, definitely.
It is. I think we have a lot of full-time parents who resell as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and like Jada said about having income streams, and I think that's like at the moment, obviously I just picked up this other one, but thinking longer term, it's about, how do you pick up different income streams so that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, as everyone says, and putting your risk.
100%.
Yeah, if someone's offering me money, then I'm gonna take it usually.
Especially if it's after hours in my pajamas, like, you know, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
If I can do it in, although the last 4 days I've been going pretty hard with these things, and I haven't actually been able to do much eBay, but like going forwards, like I won't be doing that a lot of the time, but the money was just like too good to say no to, so I just deal with it.
Take it.
Yeah, definitely.
Take it.
Chris drop in, good to see, and Tori as well. So thank you for being here. If I've missed any questions, sorry, but I'm just going to go to the bottom. I saw Matt drop in as well. Thanks for being here, Matt. You'll be right, Jada. Yeah, Jada's going to smash it.
So Megan saying that she wants to pass this skill on to her son, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Jen, just have a question. I'm thinking of leaving my full-time job. How much would you need to make before quitting? Also, how much hours do you spend on the store working full-time? I think that depends on your circumstance. I want to get that off Sam and Jada's face. But
we've heard a great term for this, which is your seller independence number.
Fancy.
So you need to calculate yourself, really.
Because everyone's got different circumstances. Even people with mortgages will be in different circumstances. They might be the start of the mortgage, they might be the end of the mortgage. So it all depends on what you need to survive. So if you can work that out and then work back from there of how many items you need to sell to get to that level, after all your profit, that's a good starting point.
Reverse engineer it.
And I think that kind of segues into our next sort of topic, like the financial side of reselling. So what I wanted to know from you guys is like, obviously we all manage our businesses a little bit differently, and you know, some of us put money aside and some of us just go with the flow because we've got money backing us up. But do you guys sort of segment your weeks up in sort of like, you know, how much money you're willing to spend each week? Is it depending on what sales you've got? Do you put money away for tax separately? So how do you guys manage that, starting with Cara?
So I use the same sort of format as Brad. We do our week start on Sunday and finish on Saturday. And that's like my financial week. I put money aside for taxes, super, GST, which I need to register for, but I am over the threshold now, so I'm probably going to have a little bit of a bill there. But I have already known that was going to happen, so I've been putting it aside. Every time I pay myself, which it depends on how much I've made that week, and how much I think that I need to put aside to also reinvest into the business. And when I went full-time, I had quite a large sum set aside that was going to be for my tax from last financial year, also for inventory and other like bits and pieces that would arise from me reselling.
Yeah, definitely. So you sort of went into it with a backlog of cash so that you knew that, you know, you're going to be supported for a period of time before needing to sort of like, you know, pull any money out, which is really cool.
You're a smart girl.
I saw Tommy drop in. He's asking for the Brads to be removed and the ladies to be left on the screen. I'm sure they'd do a great job.
Thanks, I like the welcome to poverty. Thanks, Tommy.
I think Tommy's a little bit hamstrung with his eBay account at the moment. So that's probably but Jada, what about yourself? Obviously, you talked a little bit about redundancy package coming up. So are you sort of looking to like stash that and then not pull any of that, or are you sort of going to use a bit of that to fund like the build of stock and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so the plan with that, that's fully getting stashed. That's security money. So I'm fortunate enough to get that, which a lot of people that go full-time have to save that. So which leaves me with my savings to reinvest. So I'm lucky in that sense. And the money that eBay's sort of produced for me in the past, that's what I'll invest straight back into the business. So, yeah, 100% the redundancy, look, the home loan and all that sort of stuff will tick off from that. But I don't plan on spending any of that anytime soon. So that'll just sit there for now.
Yeah, that's definitely.
You need an emergency fund.
Yeah.
I agree. Like not just for reselling, for life. You need, if we're talking financials, everyone needs an emergency fund.
Yeah.
I went off work, and then about 6 weeks later, our daughter had a car accident, and she was fine. Both my daughters were in the car, my older girls. They were fine. The car was almost written off, and that was like $2,000 in excess because she's only 17. Yeah. And that was enough to make me go, oh, but we did have savings because we had saved up money before I left work. But it sort of maybe that's part of me picking up this part-time job on the side for a while as well, is just I really want to build that up more, because that was just like one little thing, and that was a bit, in the past I probably wouldn't have worried too much, but $2,000 is it's still a decent amount of money, Yeah.
Yeah, you try and make $2,000 clear on eBay. That's a lot of work. Like you got to put a lot of work to get that back. So I definitely understand that. And we've had a lot of situations recently as well. We had to get our water meter changed, which was like $2,000. We had stuff at our investment property we had to fix. So it's always important to have some sort of backup because, like everything in life, you don't know what's going to happen. So I think we've got a really smart panel on, and everyone's put themselves in the best financial position possible.
Make like a squirrel and stash that cash.
I did see a question. Do you guys set aside tax and pay yourself super? So I guess we'll kick that off quickly. Is we pay tax quarterly, ongoing, and super is paid as part of Jazzy's wage. So that's her side of it. If I was to go full time, then obviously I have to do the same for myself. But we do put tax aside, GST as well. So, Cara, yourself?
Yes, tax aside, and because I've only been, I don't even remember how long I've been full time for now, like a month and a bit, and I am putting super aside like straight away. I was like, well, I'm going to keep putting super aside for myself, but I haven't. Like, I need to figure out like if I'm just going to be making that every pay, or should I just like leave it and then put it in there in like a month or something, or monthly, should I say? I need to sort of maybe talk to a financial person about that sort of stuff.
I think that's an important part of any business is if it's something that you're not 100% sure with, there's always people out there that you can go to and get help, because these are big decisions, and making the right decision is pretty important. So, Jada, you're going to be doing the same coming up?
I will be. I must admit, everyone has a weak point, and that's the weak point of my reselling business is the numbers game, sort of when I got to pay tax and all that sort of stuff. If it wasn't for my wife, Kate, she saved my ass from a massive tax bill last year when it came around. I'd done both. So, that's something that I've really got to get on top of now. Like Cara mentioned before, how she sets week by week, that's something that I'll start to do and strongly look at it and manage all that payment, track everything week by week. But at the moment, in the build-up to going full-time, I actually haven't. I've still been slack this year. I think I've got all of July sorted, and that's about it. So, I've got to pull my head in a bit. And I'll
do it every week.
Yeah, it'll be a weekly thing. As soon as I'm full-time, I plan to do it on a Friday because my schedule is going to be a bit different. Basically on a Tuesday is going to be my day off. That's my day with Eli. So that's what I'm most excited about, to be honest, with this whole thing. But so he does daycare every Monday, Wednesday, and he stays with my parents and my in-laws every Thursday. So that's when Kate works. So now we're going to work around that. She's going to pick up more clients, and she's going to do her book work every Tuesday, so I get Eli that day. So with that happening, I have to sort of plan around that. So I'm going to just do the Friday do all the bookwork and put the money aside and all that sort of stuff. And then that leaves, I don't want to go too hard on the reselling of a Saturday, Sunday. I want to have all my listings ready to go so I can have more family time now. So,
Yeah.
Friday the day and weekly.
We'll be hitting you up on a Friday.
I've actually kept to. Sorry, Brad, you go.
No, you go.
So ever since I've started reselling full time, and even before that, I started doing it weekly on a Monday. So I have a set, and then I pay myself on that Monday as well. So it's like my payday. So if I don't do that, I don't get paid. I don't pay my eBay fees. So I have to do it on Monday. Even though I didn't do it this Monday, but I've been doing it consistently since July. So it's helped a lot to be able to see like how much I'm earning each week. And then like where you are in your business every single week. And I really enjoy the spreadsheet that Brad put together. And I don't know when you showed that spreadsheet. It was for a live or something.
Maybe just before tax time, I think, maybe, or
Around
just after.
Yeah. I've changed it a little bit to suit me, but I just really enjoy seeing my numbers and knowing how much I've made and how much I can pay myself and taxes and blah, blah, blah.
And knowing that you did that.
Yeah.
I did it. I made that money.
I love that you just said the words, you really enjoyed the spreadsheet. Like that doesn't even in my head. Those words just, they just don't go together. But I like managed payments and getting paid.
It's a strong word. But
I find the managed payments making it easy.
Like the money.
It comes in once a week and then I just divide it up all the different ways once a week.
Yeah.
And that's working really well. I just have some percentages that I do and so far so good. So for me who hates that side of it, that's working pretty well. But.
Yeah, definitely. Some internationals asking what super is. So it's like America's, what is it? What do they do?
Oh, it's
401k.
401k, and I don't know what it would be in the UK pension or something like that.
It's your retirement fund.
Yeah, the money
it's a retirement fund.
even though it's 67, so I'm probably not going to be around by that stage. But we'll eventually.
Kate's saying yes, please follow him up.
Shazad, do you think managed payments will help people with cash flow? Fees are paid up front. I think it does, definitely, because you're not sort of chasing a tail. It's still taken out. Obviously, there are a few exceptions, but it's definitely made things easier for us. And like Sam said, it's up front. Judda's yet to get there, but I'm sure when he does, it'll work out for him. And Cara, have you found managed payments okay?
I don't care. Like, it's fine. I don't even notice that. I don't notice it. It goes into my bank, but I'm not relying on that. I guess, like, I'm not. Oh my God, where's my next payment? You can't really be doing that. And I know it's a little bit different with part-timers, which most people are. But if you could have just like that little bit of cash flow behind you, especially now with managed payments, because it's not daily payouts, even though they say that they are. Yeah. It's always good to have some cash flow there and not rely on like that processing sort of time, because you might not get it straight away. So
having that sort of gap, and I think it's a lot harder for new resellers in the fact that your postage you got to have sort of up front, because that doesn't get to you in time. But I think once you get your head around of having sort of that 1 to 2 days of postage sitting in your account at any time, then it's just a matter of managing the ins and outs after that. So
when I was part-time, I always had like a $500 buffer, and I know that's not always doable for everyone, but I always had $500. Even if like it was more, I would always have $500 in there. Like, it was obviously in PayPal back then, but it was always good to know that I could buy something with that PayPal money if I needed to, or I was paying my postage and things like that. So
and returns as well. We'll get them.
Returns,
I never get returns.
We finally down one pending. We had 4 for about 3 weeks because no one was returning anything.
Oh,
Just open but not sending. Like
one got closed and one's still coming back. So hopefully that drops off.
I hated seeing 4 every day.
Yeah.
I've got a lost return at the moment, so that's fun.
We do save money with managed payments. Yeah, a little bit. I think someone did
Tiny bit.
I think someone did the numbers yesterday, and it wasn't a huge amount, but look, every little bit helps.
And Erin did the numbers when we first went to manage payments, and a couple of us thought, we'll just wait for Erin to do it because she's really good with it. And it was a couple of cents per transaction or something, and we went, beautiful, thanks.
All right.
Why not?
That's all good.
I'm like, this is going to be amazing, guys.
I think the biggest thing with it is it's all in one place. So you don't have to reconcile PayPal. You don't have to reconcile.
Totally.
It's just there, and you can just have all the information. I think the biggest thing is all the other platforms do it as well. So
It was surprising that eBay didn't.
It was a big change for eBay, but realistically, they're just aligning themselves with everyone else. So I don't think it's a huge deal. Obviously, there's been some problems.
Some hiccups, but overall, hopefully it's working out better for people.
Definitely. The cat's
gone to sleep on our notes. I wish you could see it.
I don't know if you're doing it. She's
It's so cute.
So I did want to ask about sourcing. Now, we did touch on it a little bit at the start, kind of. In terms of changing, well, when you're part-time, obviously, a lot of us source from op shops and garage sales and stuff like that. Do you guys have to shift your sourcing plans a little bit? Obviously, COVID's impacted that a little bit as well. And I know, Cara, you've been looking at some other avenues. So do you guys want to talk a little bit about if you've had to change your sourcing at all, or if you've had to source more to keep going?
Me first?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been struggling with sourcing for most of like my reselling career, but I'm sort of getting down to like my death pile dregs, and I have like this rotating death pile so that if I can't find anything, I still have things there. And but I am actually struggling with stuff at the moment because I haven't found as many bulk things as I was hoping that I would find, and I've really been pushing hard for it. And I guess I haven't like dipped my toe into wholesale yet, but I'm a little bit nervous about that as to like what kind of stock that fits my store. I know that there's lots of sort of wholesale things out there that you can buy, like vintage t-shirts and like, you know, more like manly sort of vintage, and that's not really, I mean, I could do it, but I don't really want to. I would rather do the things that I really like listing, because if I get 100 t-shirts, I'm going to be like, I hate this.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah, if I have to do it, I have to do it. But op shops have been dry around here, and like pretty much all of the stuff that I have is thrifted. But recently, I have been buying things from auction houses and things like that. The stuff that I'm buying, though, is not in bulk. I am actually just bidding on designer clothes and buying those individually. And that is a little bit more of an outlay, but I know obviously my figures and what I can make from those things. So I have been doing that. I've bought a few bulk bits and pieces, and I probably just need to get out there a little bit more to the op shops to like make some more contacts and things like that. So I mean, I'm only like a month and a bit in, so we'll see.
Yeah. It's a work in progress, obviously, and we're all of us can't talk for everyone, but in our experience, we're always looking to make new connections. Like you're never at your end goal, really, in my eyes. Like you're always sort of working towards it. So yeah, it is hard. Jada, I know you've looked at some new options, but and you're looking at a lot more. So you want to talk about that in some sense?
Yeah, I sort of don't want to make like the op shops and that the main jam. I want to have as many different sort of areas to tackle that I can. And like Cara just said, you don't want to be selling things that you don't enjoy, because then it becomes a job. It's not enjoyable and all that sort of stuff. So I'm in the same boat there. I'm only going to pick up things that I do enjoy, but I kind of only want to be going to the op shops maybe once every couple of weeks. I'd always want to have plenty of stock on hand, and that's why I've been looking into a lot of wholesale myself, and not just clothing, other stuff as well. That I just want regular stuff there to list. I'd rather be listing than outsourcing all the time, and if I can get it here, even better. So that's kind of the main sort of focus at the moment, to build the death pile. So I'm constantly listing and constantly stuff coming in. So it's just always working. Obviously, I don't mind looking around the storage units and stuff like that. That is a lot. I mean, that can be hard work, especially in Australia. They get kind of poached because it's all online. But I mean, the one that I did pretty well out of it. And so that's going to be another thing that I want to tackle pretty hard. Probably more into next year though, because COVID has kind of ruined the storage units at the minute. The prices are pretty high. So yeah, I just want to have as many different options as I possibly can. And I'm itching to get back into those garage sales. I haven't been to one since Feb, so that's killing me.
Yes, garage sales. Oh, it's going to be pretty warm soon as well, so they're going to start coming back. And obviously in SA, we're going to.
Yeah, I got an email today about garage sale trail, November 20 and 21, I think.
Are we going to do that?
Yeah, so hopefully everything's.
I'm just like, are we going to do that? I'm coming with you guys.
I don't think we've gotten to do a garage sale trail together, because last year I think you were somewhere else, or you.
Oh yeah, I was in Perth.
Yeah.
When we could travel.
Yeah. So, what about you, Sam? Obviously, Canberra, you sort of a smaller city. Have you sort of had to look outside, or your sourcing opportunities have been enough for what you need?
So I actually like doing sourcing trips. So I have the regular stuff around here, but I like heading up to Sydney, and I did that last week with Grant and Lee. So met them at the and there's some really big op shops up there where you can get some good quality stuff, and then I get to see the family as well, and then head back down near. They live down near Wollongong, and so do a bit around there as well. So my preference really would be about every 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks, go for a couple of days and just blitz. I've got a massive people mover. I just fill it up and just have that. And I don't have the capital in the business to, like, I was reinvesting every cent when I was part-time, and then I made the decision to go full-time really quickly. But now that I'm doing this other gig, I'll probably stop pulling a wage for a while. And that'll help me build up so I can do some bulk lots, which would be nice. Yeah. I quite like, Jada, one of your videos, I think you said, about having stuff turn up on your doorstep. Oh, that sounds pretty good too.
So good.
I think a combination of sourcing trips and having stuff direct to my door, and then if I want to pop out locally, it's more just like for a pick for the fun of it than trying to get the volume in, I think is what I'm thinking.
And what about you? What do you prefer, Jazz? Like, I know I'm usually the one looking for stuff, and then I have to run it through Jazz, and I'm like, so can I do this? And she's like, yes. So
had some tense discussions recently.
What's your take on it?
I just want.
I've been in those discussions. I've heard some of those discussions.
She's gotten caught in the crossfire. I am really looking for stock that is manageable for me, because going full time, I thought, I've been able to pump out 10 listings every night working full time. Now I'm going to have my whole day ahead of me. And if you don't have stock that's easy to list, that just doesn't happen. You can do 20 listings in an hour, or you can do 20 listings and it takes you the whole day. So I'm looking for stock that I can just smash up there and start making money.
Yeah.
I'm sort of a bit of both, because I see opportunity in things. So there's a specific one that we're talking about that I really wanted to get. But Jazz didn't want to have to put in the preparation work to get it listed. So I like buying in bulk because it keeps our business rolling and it keeps things coming in and out. But
I agree with that.
It's getting the right stuff. So I actually pulled the pin on that deal because it wasn't going to work for our business currently. But if I was full time, then I probably would have got that.
If we were both full time, 100%. But I had to say, if you get this stock, it's going to take me that long to list it. Yes, it will be good money, but it's going to take me hours, and I'm going to be frustrated when you get home, and then we're both going to be frustrated, and that ain't good. Not worth it.
Can't wait for an interstate sourcing trip. the
Oh yeah,
agenda.
sorry, I shouldn't have been so flippant about just popping up to Sydney. Apologies, Victorians.
Good girl, you guys, keeping me in line. Definitely. I think we've covered off most of the main things that I wanted to talk about. But I did want to sort of ask you guys some of the biggest advantages and disadvantages of being full-time, because obviously, full-time gets put on this pedestal of like, oh, this is going to be great. But, there's obviously good and bad things. So from you guys' experience, and Jada, you sort of, you're leading up to it, so you're probably starting to see some of those things. What are the advantages and disadvantages of being full-time?
For me, I can see. Sorry, I'm looking into the future. An advantage for me is outside of the actual reselling, and that's more family time. Simple as that. I've for the past almost 7 years been working night shift, working 12-hour shifts, and every second weekend. So it kind of takes away that sort of family time. So that's going to be an advantage to me, sort of on a personal level. So I'm really pumped for that. One negative for me, and it was touched on before, is the social aspect of things. As I said, I've been in the workforce for so long. Look, I've still got my family and I've got good mates and that, although it's been kind of a weird year because you can't catch up with people lately. But it's just the social aspect of things working, I think. Could you imagine being stuck with me for a full day? I'm going to do your getting.
I mean, we hope to one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that's going to be a negative, I think. I'm not looking forward to that bit, but we'll get through.
Thanks to the 90 that are watching. You guys have brought in the crowd, so thank you everyone for coming along.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
So we'll go to Sam and then we'll come back to Cara. So Sam, positive and negatives about being full-time.
Yeah, so definitely the flexibility. I had the sick bay call from school today, and it's no drama. I can just go, and there's a band performance tomorrow, and I can just go. And, I had so many years of not being able to just go and it being this huge problem. So for me, it's definitely it just fits around my life so much better. And I guess the negative that goes with that is if you don't list, you don't make money. So it is on you. And a couple of months in now, I can see that, I don't know, if life just gets busy for a couple of days and you're like, what's happened to my sales? Like, what's going on? Oh, that's right. I haven't done as much listing the last week, which was atrocious, and you can see that immediate impact. So you can't take the pedal off the metal too much.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. I think obviously as your store grows and gets bigger, you can kind of cover it for a little bit of a period of time, but I think it definitely has an impact, and we've seen it numerous times on our account. So I think you're right in that sense. Cara, yourself, positive and negatives?
I agree with Jada and Sam. Flexibility is what I want. I want to just be able to do whatever I want, really. Of course, I still have got to do eBay, but maybe one day, Jazz and Brad call me up and say, do you want to go thrifting? And I go, oh, yeah, okay. Or do you want to go to lunch?
You're sitting outside your house. Are you awake?
Yeah.
The other morning, Brad messages me at 8 o'clock, and he's like, hey, you want to come up shopping? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, we're outside your house.
We went to an estate sale. It happened to be near Cara's house, and it was about 8:30. Cara's ad-libbing a little bit.
8:20.
And I was like, oh, we better see if Cara wants to come out. So I text her, and she's like, I'm still in bed. And I was like,
no.
You're coming out. So you got ready.
I got up. So my positive was the flexibility, but also my negative is it is now my full-time job to do eBay, even though that seems like an oxymoron because that's what I wanted. But it takes away the fun of it kind of a little bit. It's not just your side money anymore. It is your job, and you need to make money, sort of like what Sam says. I've actually had the same thing where I've just been over it by the time I've finished the casual stuff, which hasn't been really casual. It's been full days work the last couple of days, and also week prior as well. And I'm just like, I don't want to list. And I've seen a little bit of a dip in my sales. So, but just have to go with the flow. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our biggest negative is work taking over, setting boundaries, or work times is so important.
Yeah, I think I'm probably more aligned with Shelley on that one, is that working from home, I just sometimes don't stop working.
So that's your that's your negative?
That's my negative. But
what's your positive?
Today,
yeah.
Brad took annual leave. We did double listings yesterday and we just took off and went fishing. So
yeah.
But we had a good time.
Yeah, definitely. It allows you to do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I said, I'm still in full-time employment, but for any one of us to have to work out annual leave, it's better than both of us trying to organise that. So
it's easier.
Yeah, definitely. Stalker Brad and Jazz. It was a little bit stalkerish. I
She
really
loved
wish
it.
there was more.
No, I don't think it's stalkerish. I would do the same thing.
That's if you like it.
Has anyone ever done an eBay course? My son wants to buy me one.
Ooh.
Late Father's Day. I know that a few of the US sellers do them, Rally Roots and a few other people.
Yeah, who is it?
I don't know who else does them.
I would just say, if you can, look up reviews for the course, because if there's
I've got
no
a better tip. Sub to 2 Aussie thrifters and just watch them because it's free. That's all I do, and it works for me.
I'd say sub to all the Australian channels and go watch all their content, because you're going to learn bits and pieces from everyone, and then you're going to be the most skilled reseller that you ever could be. So
that's it.
Everyone's links is in the description, as I said before. So go over and go smash the sub button on all of them. Head over to Sam's Instagram and hit follow on her account as well, because she puts some good content out.
And then also Frank at thrifter.me,
Yeah.
who is going to talk way more in depth with Cara.
So we'll touch on that quickly. So Cara and Frank are going live Thursday night, 7:30.
Yeah.
Start time that we went live. So I think that's 6 WA, 8 on the Eastern States, and 7:30 us and NT. So make sure you head over to thrifter.me, check out their chat on Thursday. I don't think we've crossed over too much tonight, which is good. So there'll be plenty more talk going on Thursday. Last thing, guys, if you were to give anyone a tip just starting out or transitioning into full-time resale, what would it be?
Oh, man. That's a big question. Dude.
I think just you'll go in with such energy and just run on that as long as you can. I think just ride the high and just in the early days and just do it. Just
do
you can always go back, maybe not right now in every industry, but in the future there will be jobs again, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You can, whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to say enjoy yourself. Don't take it seriously, but also don't take it too seriously. You're reselling for a reason. Most of the time, people want that to have freedom. Don't let eBay take over your life or whatever platform. It's your job, but also you should give yourself a little bit of freedom, and because you're not working 9 to 5 anymore. So.
Yeah. Definitely. Biggest negative is when you have
a dog shit day.
Yeah, definitely. I did see something from Drifter Thrifters dropped this $10 super sticker. So thank you very much. And I do have to give them a shout out as well, because they were our cha-ching on the live on Sunday.
My world of reselling cha-chings equals a donation.
Yeah, so we have been donating live sales on the Worldwide Reselling, so get behind that. On a Sunday, if you guys buy anything from us or anyone else does, we'll put $10 in the kitty, which has been going strong.
We're all as well.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Nathan.
What about you, Flipper? Do you have anything to add to that as well?
What was the question again? Was it advice for anyone doing it? I'd just say have confidence in yourself, because if you're not going in confident, it's probably not worth going in. And just never stop learning. There's a million markets that you're not going to learn, so try and learn a couple of them. Never stop learning, because there's always money to be made. So I'd say do your research. Leave yourself a bit of time in the day to research. Simply research before you go to bed. There's always something new out there for you.
Yeah, I'm always looking at comps before bed. I'm just scrolling. I'll just look up, even in my own field that I feel like I know. There's always different trends and things like that within your field because, as Jada said, you're always learning. You don't know everything, and you're not going to know everything. Things change, so yeah, keep learning.
Definitely. I think, and that's one great thing about the Aussie community expanding is like there's so much more knowledge around now, and a lot of people give it out very freely and try and help each other. So overall, we have a great community, and you guys are a massive part of that. So thank you for joining us tonight. If you guys haven't seen any of these people, go and check their channels out. Go check out Sam's Instagram, and you'll learn something new every single day. So show some support. Really appreciate everyone coming along. Drifter Thrifters are close to 100 subs, so everyone head over there. Cool. I did want to say quickly, just a little bit of side promotion. So Mum's Lounge actually reached out to us earlier last week and did a little bit of an article on mums going and selling like video games and stuff. So if you guys haven't seen that article, that'll be out on Mum's Lounge. We posted up on Instagram if you guys want to check that out. It's really cool to be like a part of a different community that we probably don't get to reach out to as much as some others. So yeah, that was really cool. So really happy with that. And it's a great time.
Go give it a click, everyone. Click, click, click.
Yeah. So I want to thank you guys for coming along. Obviously, we really appreciate all your time, and we can't wait to see what you guys do upcoming, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be some great successes, especially with Jada going full time. It's going to be a big switch. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Really appreciate there's 90 people in for a lot of the night, so you guys brought the crowd, which is awesome. It's great to see everyone here. And we will see you next time on Aussie Thrifters.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.